Now let's have a look at few of the very popular phrasal verbs. Remember, phrasal verbs, just like idioms, have a completely different meaning from what they literally mean. For example, break down. Break down here does not mean breaking into pieces. Break down here means to stop functioning for a machine or to lose your emotional control. My car broke down on the highway this morning, which does not mean that the car broke down in pieces, but it rather means that it stopped functioning. And you can also say she broke down in tears when she heard the news. That is, she lost control of her emotions. Call off. To call off something means to cancel something. We had to call off the picnic because of the rain. We had to cancel the picnic because of the rain. Come across is to find or meet by chance. I came across this old photograph while cleaning my room. I came upon it, I chanced upon it. So it happened by chance. Come up with. Come up with means to think of an idea, plan, or solution. We need to come up with a better strategy for the presentation. That is to think about a better plan. That means to have a friendly relationship. They get along really well despite their different personalities. Get over. To recover from an illness, shock, or difficult experience. It took him months to get over the flu. She finally got over her fear of flying. Put off. That means to postpone or delay doing something. I keep putting off cleaning my garage until the weekend. Run out of has got nothing to do with running. It actually means to have no more of something left. We have run out of milk, so I need to go to the store. Kindly note you can find a list of phrasal verbs in the resource section. Finally, we come to the last section of this course. Now, writing essays and reports are advanced topics and they require multiple sessions. However, I have tried my best to give you a basic structure for writing different kinds of essays and reports. So let's have a look. Expository. Firstly, there are different types of essays like argumentative, persuasive, discursive, expository. However, I have picked argumentative and persuasive for today's discussion because these are pretty popular types, along with a little bit of insight on report writing. It is very interesting to note that each of these essays has a different style of writing. They include different points and has a very distinct structure from each other. For today's session, we will be taking into account argumentative and persuasive essay. But what exactly is an argumentative essay? An argumentative essay is one in which you present both the sides of a topic. However, you argue for one with evidence. So remember, you present both the sides, but you argue for only one. A typical argumentative essay would have a very clear stance where you recognize the other side as well. However, you stick to your point of view. Just like an argument where you acknowledge your opponent, but at the same time, you stick to your opinion. So it will have a clear stance, and whatever you say, whatever claims you make, will have to be backed by evidence. Now, how do you back it by evidence? You talk about researchers, you talk about data, you talk about statistics. Remember, no matter what you do, it needs to be backed by evidence. The structure will be clear, just like the stance. You will have a topic sentence. The topic sentence is that main statement that you make, and you let your readers know that your entire essay is going to be on it. It's a clear stance. A topic sentence is the most important sentence. A topic sentence introduces your point of view and lets the reader know that what the entire essay is going to be about. Now remember, when you're doing an argumentative essay, you not only acknowledge the other point of views, but you also provide a counter argument for that. This is a snippet from an essay on whether the schools should have uniforms for the students or not. While some argue they stifle individuality, uniforms demonstrably promote equality among students, reducing socio-economic distinction. So here we are definitely acknowledging the counter argument. However, we are also providing a counter. Now let's talk about persuasive essays. Persuasive essay is an essay where you're trying to persuade your reader. Here you are not going to present two set of ideas or the two sides of the coin. In persuasive essay, you just stick to your point of view and you do everything in your capacity to convince with passion, reasons, and also sometimes with emotions, while employing logic at the same time. Now, what are the few things that your persuasive essay must have? Definitely, just like your argumentative one, you should state your opinions clearly, appeal to emotions and logic. That means you not only make your readers slightly sentimental, but you also give them certain logical thoughts to hold on to and follow. Unlike argumentative essay, persuasive essay does not focus on both the sides of the coin. Now, how do you do that? You do that with a combination of ethos, pathos, and logos. And at the same time, you provide ample logic for your readers to understand that there's logic behind it and why they should be listening to you. Your language is very important when you're trying to persuade your audience or your reader. Your language here should include words like must, essential, have to, ought to. Remember all the modals that we did? Yes. Persuasive essay would be an excellent place where you can actually use your modals. Also, ask rhetorical questions, powerful call to action. Now, rhetorical questions are questions that we all know the answers for. We do not need an answer for that. Like, for example, can you imagine life without water? We all know the answer. The answer is no, we cannot. And thought-provoking questions, which will make people think. So this way, you can actually persuade people to be on your side. Now look at the sentence here. You must try the new vegan cafe downtown. You must. When you say must, there's immediately a sense of obligation. It also means that something is probably worth it. So you must try the new vegan cafe. Don't you want to discover your new favorite spot and feel great about what you eat? Asking thoughtful questions, right? And then you top all of this up with some logic, like imagine fresh, flavorful meals that make you feel energized, not sluggish. Plus, supporting local ethical business is essential. So, see how this write up has combined emotions where the writer wants you to feel energized, the writer wants you to think about a time when you will be energized and you will have a great meal. And the writer also adds a little bit of logic to it. Plus, supporting local ethical businesses is essential. So, this way, the writer is able to create an impact in your mind and probably persuade you better to try this new vegan cafe. Now, report writing is very different from essay writings. Here, you need to present facts objectively with clear structure and data. Report writing does not require your opinion or any sort of persuasion. Whatever you see needs to be reported just the way they are. So, what could be a few things that you should do in order to produce a good report? Know your purpose, your audience. Obviously, if it is written for your boss, or if it's written for your colleague, or if it is to be written at school for your friends, you should know your audience because the language keeps changing accordingly. That's number one. Title and a summary of the event or the thing that you would want to report. Typically, a report writing is done after an event or a meeting to document the process. So you should always add a title and a summary of whatever has happened. Proper structure with proper headings is an absolute must. Next would be your factual data, your visuals, and whatever findings or recommendation you have come across during the event needs to be mentioned into your report as clearly and as concisely as possible. Data collected over 3 months indicates a 15% rise in project completion rates among remote employees compared to in-house counterparts. Very clear instruction. All the facts are mentioned here, which probably were found out during the investigation process or probably discussed during a meeting. 50% over 3 months, completion rates. These are all jargon and these are all facts or data which has been collected and now it has been condensed into a report. With this, we finally come to a conclusion of our course. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey. I wish to launch more such courses in future and I just cannot wait to have you guys on board. Toodles.